in this particular rant is getting attention.
Total power in one person's hands, not the American way. These damn bills that come out here all the damn time come out here at the last second, and I gotta try to figure out how to vote for my people. How ashamed of, or you should be. You should be ashamed of yourselves. I'm sick of it. Every year, we give power to one person. It was not made that way in the Constitution. He was around when it was written. Now we pass rules that stop each one of us. Enough! Feel like somebody trying to be released from Egypt. Let my people go! My God, they sent me here to vote for them. They sent me here to vote for them, to argue for them. But I'm trapped. I'm trapped with my rules that have been forced down our throats. Folks, we live in a democracy, but not here. But not here. So you go back and you tell your people, I'd like to do that, but the speaker has so much power, so much control, and each one of us do it in their districts. And have to go back and say that. And you can say on your side of the aisle, oh, no, that's not the case. But yes, you do. All of us know you got to deal with it. When's it going to stop?
I had to play the whole thing because it's so entertaining. And he was so right about that. I mean, and Mike, I'm going to welcome you to the program here so you could explain what you were so mad about. How are you, sir?
I'm great. I'm really, really good.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, by the way.
Yeah, you're on the Quiver River Electric Cooperative guest line. So you were, and I have not ranted in this fashion, but the frustration is you have Mike Madigan, who's been Speaker of the House. I think you even mentioned it since like the Civil War, right?
32 years, actually, and the statement. Well, actually, the statement that he was around when the Constitution was written. The Constitution for Illinois was rewritten in 1970, and he was a member of CONCON at that time.
I thought you were talking. He's been there for like 120 years because it seems that way. But there is a serious frustration about the control that Governor Quinn has and Mike Madigan as the Speaker of that House.
Correct, and in that case, they brought a bill out there was a 198-page bill. It was brought out, changed in the middle of the night. We'd been working on it for a year and a half. They changed it completely. Mike Madigan did in the middle of the night and brought it out 10 minutes before committee. No one had the chance to read it. They just wanted it passed. And so, yeah, that's not, that's similar to what we've had with Obamacare and the fact that, hey, look, we can pass it and then we'll figure out what it does later, right? That's not, really honest to goodness, those of us who are elected, whether it's state or federal, the idea is to read the bills, study and understand, and try to move forward in a way that's beneficial for the whole, for the majority of the people. And the sad reality is that sometimes people are not standing up for those rights when the people are elected to those positions. They're just not. And it's time that our elected officials are.
And I agree with you. So as you were speaking there, I looked up, we have several television monitors here at KMOX, and I saw the latest ad that they're running against you, the End Your Campaign. He's the incumbent. You're running against him in this district in Illinois, and I'll let you sort of explain where the boundary lines are so people who are in our listening audience might be aware that they could vote for you. But there's another ad, there have been a couple of them that say that you're that you'd be part of the problem in Washington, that you're too crazy. There's an ad that features a guy playing you, and little kids are throwing things at him, and people are upset. They think he's crazy. So basically the tag right now from N, you're too crazy, Mike Bost, to go to Washington. Right.
Well, let me tell you that in the years as a member of the General Assembly, that didn't happen very often. Apparently, if you look at the ads, I'm always wearing the same tie, or maybe there's two ties, which ones they clip back and forth. So it's not a common practice, but it is sometimes that you need to get the attention of those to
Sure.
By the way, that bill failed that day. So it was effective to stop the bill. And thank heaven it did, because property tax owners all over the southern part of the state would have been paying for the pension system instead of coming up with a sensible plan to deal with the issue. That being said, though, it is the job of my opponent to try to paint me as something I'm not. Folks, what I am is I'm passionate about certain things. Three things that I can think of. One, if you violate the Constitution of the United States or the state of Illinois, and that's where our guidance comes from, And if you violate that, then yes, my job as an elected official is to stand up and make sure that doesn't occur. Or if by some other means, other than the Constitution, you try to take away the rights that my constituents have, which is the ability for their representative to represent them the best of his or her ability, then yes, I'm going to have a little problem with that as well. And yes, I will argue for that point. If you do anything to my kids or my spouse, my wife, I would probably argue to a level there. But to say that, I think it's maybe what we're hearing from the constituents out there is, you know what, they're tired of people going to Springfield and going to Washington and sitting there and just saying,
right.
we're just going to get along.
Yeah, I think people are sick of that. And, what Bill Anyard is saying, and look, this is, political handbook 101. You get something like this and you take it out of context and people don't know exactly what you're ranting and raving about, and maybe they'll think you are crazy. He says that attitude isn't something that is welcome in Washington. It's like taking a can of gasoline to a fire. But I think people appreciate passion. And I also think people are upset with the Democrats right now, in particular, like Bill Anyard. And that's one of the things that you're trying to capitalize on. So, and we have limited time here this afternoon. I would invite you to come in. I know originally we had you scheduled for an in-studio visit. You can come in here before the election. You're welcome to do so. We'll spend a little bit more time. But explain, because even though I assume that some people and most people know which district they live in, can you sort of paint the borders of this particular congressional district so folks listening would know if they're in your district or potential district?
It is 11 1/3 counties on the most southern and western side of the state, and let me tell you that it's all of St. Clair County, all of Monroe County, and it is Alton, Wood River, Bethalto, Madison, Granite City, in Madison County. Other than that, then it's all the other states to the south. So as far as your listening audience out that way, it's Perry County, Randolph County, all of those are in there as well. But so it is the western, eastern side of the river down to Cairo. It's pretty well Alton to Cairo back up to Mount Vernon.
So the Democratic National Campaign Committee, they obviously, you caught their attention, so they must feel that you're some sort of threat or they wouldn't be running these ads. So I wish you well here in the next few weeks to get your message. I think your ads look good, by the way. I've seen your ads, and they don't portray you as crazy. But come on in here in the studio when you have some time.
For that, I will we'll make sure to set that up. Yeah. And I thank you for the opportunity to be on today.
All right, Mike, take care.
Thank you.
I think, for those of you in that district, I think you have to take a close look at this race. And the numbers, look, the House is not in jeopardy of switching over to Democrat control, but the numbers do matter and the votes do matter. We'll come back in a moment. There was a story on the front page of the St.